Kaya,
I
take
was a
us
little
in.
off there.
It's fine.
Okay, welcome to episode 231 of the official podcast. We have Josh back, a fan favorite.
Special guest.
Glad to be back. Thank you guys for having me.
No, thank you for joining us for yet another episode. I think you're possibly the person who's been on the most, though I'd have to fact check that. How many times was James on? Does anyone know? Because James Alan McCune. Okay, so he was twice. So you probably are the person who's been on the most.
I'm holding the record, man. That's what I saw in even my Discord. They said that they were like, I'm pretty sure you're the first person to go on 3 times consecutively.
That is a confirmed record, I believe. No.
Take it to the Guinness World Records.
Well, thank you guys. I'm honored to be here yet again. And it's funny that you guys have had me on 3 times because every single time that an episode comes out, not that it's happened more than twice yet, but immediately people come straight to my stream and they go, hey, man, I saw your episode of the official podcast. When are you going on again? And I'm like, bro, that episode came out 6 hours ago. You can't, it's not really up to me when I'm going to go on again, man. I mean, like, I'll go anytime they want me to, but I can't. I'm not like, hey, man, we'll see you in July. You know, about 5.5 months, 6 months, we'll be back.
Yeah, we've definitely had people. We've definitely had people in the comments requesting you. So this goes to show for anyone listening, just request who you want, and perhaps it will happen eventually, maybe. So
perhaps eventually, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
But thank you to everybody who has requested me. I appreciate all the support, guys. You know, I love coming to shoot the shit with these dudes. It's always a good time.
We love you. All right, I actually have a topic that I just saw this morning, and I don't know if it's fake news or what. Is Logan Paul actually gonna fight Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah.
Or was I bamboozled?
Wait, what? I haven't heard about this.
No, that's real.
Well, Floyd Mayweather definitely won't throw it, that's for sure. That dude's got way too much of an ego.
What's gonna happen?
I think Logan Paul wins by knockout in 20 seconds.
First round, immediate, complete knockout. Absolute busted Mayweather down. No, I'm gonna put my money on Mayweather on that one. I'm sure that there probably won't even be a betting pool for Logan unless it's like his stands or something.
Oh, people are going to bet for Logan, surely.
That's ridiculous.
Just based on the odds, like people just rolling the dice kind of thing, I would imagine.
I've seen a lot of internet speculation that last guy threw it like hell to take his money and go home. Like, no ego, I don't give a shit.
Ben Askren.
Ben, yeah.
I've never heard his name before. Is he a really good boxer or MMA?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure in his time he was pretty significant.
Yeah, MMA.
I'm not sure he was still relevant, but he was an MMA fighter, yeah.
I've heard the reason that Jake Paul keeps winning is just because he's like a trained boxer going up against people that aren't good at fighting against boxers. Is there any kind of truth to that?
Well, I mean,
I've seen that implied as well.
He's only fought a YouTuber, a basketball player, and now a fucking 40-year-old retired surgery-ridden MMA fighter.
A has-been, yeah.
So he knows how to pick him, basically.
Yeah, that's the way, yeah. And I think he might be out of his league going up against Mayweather. I'm just saying.
He goes up against a 12-year-old next. Just beat the shit out of a kid.
Has he fought a flight attendant yet? Yeah, I don't know. I want to see this Floyd Mayweather shit, but I feel like Mayweather is just gonna like dance around him for 12 rounds, and then they're gonna ring it and give him the technical victory.
This isn't the same Paul brother. This is Logan Paul fighting Floyd Mayweather. Logan Paul hasn't won a fight yet.
Oh, I get the two of them confused, to be honest with you.
Yeah, wait, so why is he going up against like an actual fighter then? One of the Paul brothers loves losing and the other one can't stop winning, apparently. Yeah. They should fight.
They need to stick with the Pokemon card unboxings.
What do you mean he doesn't want to fight then? Why did he even earn this fight against Floyd Mayweather? That's kind of got to sting for everybody who's ever challenged Floyd.
Big money. They're going to put it on pay-per-view and sell 3 million fucking views.
Yeah, but don't those shows suck? Charlie, didn't you say that show sucked? I know our moderator Brady said it was the most boring fucking waste of time.
You're talking about the Jake Paul fight recently?
Yeah, whatever happened last one.
I didn't watch it, but it was 4 hours of like a pre-show.
Yeah, pre-entertainment.
Yeah.
Wait, is that not the one you made a video about, Charlie? Is that not the one we're talking about?
I made it on the fight. The fight was 40 seconds, so I got to watch the whole fight through a Twitter clip. But the whole, but the whole show
fit conveniently into a tweet.
Yeah, the whole show was 4 hours of a pre-show leading up to that. It was.
What were they doing?
Bad.
Cartwheels and fireworks and shit? I mean, or just like pre-fights?
They had like a circus act before it, where it was just like singing and dancing, and then like actually nothing, just sitting around. Like it was really bad from everything I've heard. So I'm glad I didn't actually watch the whole thing.
Basically
Was the Team 10 there? Did they do any like music acts or anything like that? Because I know they do concerts and stuff. Like Team 10 does concerts. For their
Yeah,
fans.
maybe like 6 years ago. Team 10 hasn't existed since like 2016.
The fuck is
Team
Team 10?
10.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Jake Paul's like mansion or his group.
From when he was on the fucking Disney Channel. So actually, like
no,
4
that was
years
after
ago.
that. No, it was after that. I'm thinking like 2018, 2019.
Maybe
It still
2018.
existed then.
Luckily, I missed the rise of the Paul brothers. I came out and they were already doing their thing.
Yeah.
I had to catch
Same.
up. I also missed Vine, so I mean, apparently that's where they popped off. I didn't even know. One of them was on Disney, right?
Yeah,
Jake Paul was.
It's
Jake,
kind of
okay.
funny to me sometimes where these super famous people, I will only like they just suddenly pop into existence in my universe. Where like the first time I heard about any of the Pauls, and I still confused the two. It was like when they filmed the corpse in the Japanese forest or something.
And then
recently
controversy
with
popped off.
EDP, everybody's sending me that guy's fucking video, and I'm like, who the fuck is this? How does he have 3 million subscribers? I've never
The
heard
internet's big, man.
I think I had
full
heard
of
about
people
him on
we've never
Charlie's
heard of.
channel originally, if I'm not mistaken. But other than that, I don't think I knew anything about E EDP.
Yeah, a lot of these like huge channels, like there's just so many these days. So you'll
there
have
really is.
like, especially on TikTok, there's followers or there's TikTok stars with like 30, 40 million followers that none of us have ever heard of and probably
Thank God.
will never hear of.
Well, let's
So
hope
it's
so.
not just me being
No.
sheltered.
I personally hope
That
to
makes
keep
me
it
feel
that way.
good. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm out of the loop too. I don't know who any of these people are until they're like getting canceled or something like that most of the time. And I'll just be scrolling through Twitter or something and see that some guy I've never heard of is now facing controversy. Or like how the guy from Mr. Beast just had to apologize for being an Ice Poseidon fan.
Yeah.
I just caught up on that watching from scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah,
well,
well,
like
you
Somebody who
years from
vaguely
now-
knows Ice Poseidon, I know that he wasn't too terribly thrilled about that.
Really?
Yeah, 5 years from now,
Inside
we're gonna
source
be
on
like,
Ice Poseidon.
hey, remember inside source?
I don't know if
Yeah.
I should say that now, considering the fact that, you know, Carl Jacobs just had to apologize for having
Yeah,
been
no,
a
you're
fan
going
of
to have
his.
to.
But to be fair, I mean, like, my controversy is pretty much over and done with. My whole controversy was the fact that, you know, like I said, why I'm even sitting in this chair talking right now. So, I mean, I don't know if the people are going to come try and cancel you for some shit that everybody already knew about. But I mean, I got 3,000 Twitter followers. I'm not exactly concerned about getting canceled at this point.
Good luck.
Let's give it a try, guys.
Imagine
Let's try
somebody
to
jumps
cancel
out 2 years from now and they're like, you guys might not know this, but Josh Pillault threatened a school one time. He's a piece of shit and he should not be supported. I'm be like, that's like literally the reason that I made a YouTube channel in the first place is because of my legal case. So
That's what Elliot Rogers should have done. Do his damn it!
Apart
No,
from
I'm
mass
sad again.
murder, yeah, probably. Pretty much anything's better than mass murder for what he did.
He needed
maybe
an
I was the-
outlet. A
I was the
fucking
lowest
dork.
of the low, unfortunately. I mean, that's a lot worse than supporting Ice Poseidon, I would think. I would hope, anyways. What I did was probably
Marginally.
a few notches below that. Yeah, I might be a little bit scummier for that, but I can always just say it was just a prank, bro. Don't worry.
That's actually something I completely missed as well, was the whole Elliot Roger thing. Like, with the way people were talking about it after, like, a few years after it happened, I thought he was just like a bumbling idiot. Not that he actually killed like 20 people.
Yeah.
I don't even know who that is. Do what?
He was like the first incel, like the progenitor of the incel movement. He used to make videos
No,
about
he's
how
not. No. Hold up! Don't
Movement.
spread
Oh my
misinformation, buddy.
What?
We're not. He was not the first incel. What do you think he is? Like from the Prometheus movies? He
It's an exaggeration.
bioengineered the incels.
It's an exaggeration, but he was quite
Okay.
literally the most popular and one of the
Yes,
first incel-focused people on the internet.
Maybe like how
He
they
is
say
the
Elvis is the king
incel.
of rock and roll. You know, he's just the
Yeah,
one that
kinda.
brought it to the mainstream.
Yes, he brought it to the
Yeah.
mainstream. He propelled it into the mainstream, which was good and bad because, you know, the good was I could finally make an incel reference and show people funny videos and they would know what an incel is. I wouldn't have to fucking explain to them. But at the same time, it's now too mainstream and all played out. So now anytime on the internet you fucking disagree with a man, you just call him a fucking incel. It's like, okay, it's played out now. Boring, lame.
Yeah,
Well,
that makes sense.
Not the actual incels. They're not played out. They still exist, and they're still usually pretty fucking weird people. You know, on the
Yeah, I
incel
think on their
forums and such.
forums. Yeah, I can't even find them anymore. I don't know what the fuck happened, but I'm also just, I don't know. I've had my fill. It's not that
I
entertaining
had
to
to
me
ban
anymore.
a dude for my YouTube live streams for being a loud, proud, avowed incel. And this dude has come back as recently as like a week ago. And like a year ago when it first popped off, he jumped back in my Discord. He went through all the trouble after getting banned to make a new Discord. Comes back 30 minutes later and goes, "You fucked up this time, buddy. Check it out. I brought my incel Discord with me and we're about to take over." Literally 3 guys, including him, joined my Discord. And they're like, "Yeah, fuck women. That's right. Yeah." And just immediately all got banned again. So I think I've got a pretty good grasp on their quote unquote community and their quote unquote power. It was pretty pathetic, honestly. And his whole point of view about the entire world was that girls don't like him because he doesn't have any money. He said, "I'm handsome and I drive a nice car, but I don't have any money, so girls don't like me."
You've made a very
my
powerful
God.
enemy, it sounds.
Yeah, obviously, with his default Discord and YouTube profile pictures
I'm trying to
and
find this
his one
fucking link.
subscriber.
Chad, if you can help me out. The incels have now their own streaming site. Just like the IP2
Oh
people,
my
they have
God.
their offshoot streaming YouTube version. It's called MGTOW something, and I can't find it. I don't know if it was MGTOW.party or MGTOW.live, but when you go to the site, it's literally just a ton of fucking videos of these grifters and pickup artists, like 5 reasons why all women are whores, and here's how to pick them up anyway. And that's the entire site.
Sounds pretty cool.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me.
Is it helpful?
I wish I had. I highly doubt it. That's the grifter with like the MGTOW. For those who don't know, MGTOW stands for men going their own way. That is, they are incels who want to pretend that being an incel was their choice. AKA, you can't fire me, I quit. I didn't want to fuck women anyway.
Well, I
That's
mean,
the whole idea.
isn't it in the name involuntarily celibate, right? Incel? I mean, like, no, they did not have a choice in this matter. Not if they adhere to the
you're right.
incel
Well, according
term.
to them, they're not incel. They're volcel, voluntary celibate.
Ooh,
It's-
I'm a
you have to learn the
volcel.
lingo, Josh.
Sorry, man, I'm a little bit behind. I can't help it. This isn't a movement that I'm exactly invested in.
Yeah,
So,
this is a
to me,
blast
it
from
seems
the
like
past.
incels are basically people of 2 extremes. Either they're pathetic losers who just spend their time on forums all day, or they go out and shoot up 20 people. There doesn't seem to be a middle
No
ground.
middle ground.
Here. Yeah.
Well, the
Well,
show
there's
is
also-
also
all that
angst
pathetic
gotta go
losers who
somewhere,
spend
man.
their times on forums.
I
They
mean,
just snap, I guess.
there's also just the middle ground of the ones you don't hear about, the people that are incels but don't make it their whole personality, like where they just keep
Yeah,
to
that are
themselves.
just sad and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
They're just
yeah,
depressed.
But I imagine those people don't actually identify as incels. Then they're just down on their luck, people who can't get a date, kind of thing. They don't.
That
like,
could be true.
yeah.
It could be that once they embrace the movement, they feel the need to spread the word about it, if you will, you know, make their position known. That they could have all the girls if they wanted to. It's just that they don't want to get a job and have any money, and that's apparently what women like, according to them. With my extreme experience and having 3 incels, quote unquote, join my Discord server. That's about the extent of my knowledge, is that this guy was pathetic, and that's all I know about the incel movement, really.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm fucking
I mean, at
stupid, by
least-
the way. The website is simply called MGTOW.tv. I don't know why that didn't occur to me. I'm an idiot.
I see somebody just posted a link there. It says .com on this /videos, but I'm a little hesitant to
That's
click
the
on that
wrong
link.
one. No.
Yep, there. Yeah,
Self-help
you're right. There it
marketing
is.
plan. Men should go fishing forever. Man, woman myth, family, father's rights. 1 of 3. 3 cold truths I learned from approaching 10,000 women.
10,000 women? How do you do that? You just run down the
That's a lot
street.
of women. That's
You just
impressive.
run down the street and talk to every girl that passes you. My God.
What are these titles?
tried-
Alpha
Yeah, wait,
Widow
if
got
he
pumped and
tried his
dumped
luck
from
with
Chad.
10,000 women, he's definitely not an incel. That's not involuntary.
I was denied 10,000 times. Maybe because you're a fucking creep, man. Maybe it's not the women here. Maybe
Yeah,
it's you.
Maybe it's because you're counting every single woman you made. You weird.
If you get denied by
9,999?
10,000 women, that's on you, buddy. Come on. You can't tell me that even 1 out of the 10,000 wasn't a decent human being, you know, that wouldn't give a man a chance or something.
If he didn't come up like expecting them not to and being an aggressive asshole, probably.
Your idea of Kai's idea of a decent human being is someone who gives them a chance, someone who lets them smash. Is that what your idea
No.
of a decent human being is?
No. I mean, according to them, right? Any woman who doesn't, you know, I guess go out on a date with a super ugly, stupid misogynist
Broke
as
guy.
a.
Then they're a piece of shit, not
whore.
them. Yeah, absolutely.
Stacy, yes, fuck. It was at the tip of my tongue. So 10,000 Stacys, not
Stacey.
one out of them was. Of course, there's all Stacys too.
I'm
Because
still catching
keep in
up with
mind-
these name memes, these Kyles and these Stacys and Karens and all this good shit. I'm still trying to catch up.
You
to
know
this.
what a Chad is, right? A Stacy
Oh,
is
yeah,
just
I know
a
what a
female
Chad is.
Chad. Right.
Oh, see, when I went to
And the
prison,
thing
man,
about-
back in 2012, Chad was a bad thing. It was like the dumb frat boys that are like, yeah, bro, my Dodge Beamer, dude, I totally smashed it. Like, that was a Chad in my time. So I got out and people were like,
It
bro,
still
you're
is.
a total Chad. And I was offended. But apparently now a Chad is like, yeah, true. That doesn't necessarily mean that it changed. But apparently now being a Chad's not necessarily a bad thing. It kind of means like you're boss and you're balling, you know? I don't know. I'm catching up. But going to prison pretty much turned me into a grandpa as far as the modern age goes. You know, I'm really behind on everything.
yeah,
Well, I think
you
those
lost
frat
out
boys
on,
that were
like-
called Chads back in the day were always fucking anyway, so it's the same thing. Like
Yeah, I was about to
Chads in
say,
this
it's
sense.
not necessarily, it could just be two sides of the same coin. They're still Chads, but like I used to skate, you know, we'd be hanging out at the skate park and like a couple of the Ole Miss kids walk up with their polos and their golf shorts and their Ray-Bans on and we'd be like, here comes Chad Jr. and Chad Chaddington over here coming to chat it up. And then I get out of prison and they're like, oh, what do you know, man? Hey, the dude's a total Chad on his video game and he's like giving away free money and being a nice guy and shit. So I was like, okay, that one warped a little bit.
Okay, that's
Growing
way
up in a
better
college
then.
town, we had a lot of Chads, or so I thought. And I guess you're right. I mean, it's still kind of the same concept, still just kind of balling and big boss. And it used to imply low IQ in my time. We didn't have Karens and all that good shit, but it used to just be like, you know, frat boys and sorority girls. They were Chads, all of them, just a bunch of
I
Chads.
think it still
rich
does
daddy.
imply low IQ though, because on those memes, a lot of it is like, you know, the Chad so and so versus the virgin intellectual. Meaning,
Yeah.
that,
Right,
you know,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
you've wasted so much time trying to be smart, but you still don't get any pussy. I mean, you know, Elliot Rodger was the virgin intellectual, supposedly. He liked to regard himself as this very magnificent gentleman, the supreme gentleman. Man, I miss his fucking videos. That was the fucking hoots, just showing all the
I
girls
read
in
it.
my
I
life.
read
This is
his
fucking
manifesto.
videos.
So Josh, he
good.
wrote like a 170-page manifesto before he went on his killing spree that he then uploaded to the internet, or somehow it got out onto the internet so people were able to read it, and it just detailed his entire pathetic, sad life. What was it called, Kaya?
The
It was called,
manifesto
like,
is
My
authentic.
Twisted
It's not
World.
like some.
yeah,
It's
My Twisted
authentic,
World.
like it's actually his manifesto. It's not some
Yeah,
troll.
it's actually his.
yeah, no, it's
he-
actually his.
I can't believe
he,
I've heard of this guy.
It's a biography more so. He starts out with his childhood and how it led up to the moments, and it has parts like I was playing World of Warcraft and I had to listen to my sister get fucked in her vagina in the next room, and I knew
Oh,
that
wow.
she was having sex with her boyfriend, the sex that was denied me, and this is why we need to keep women in breeding camps.
Yeah,
What
it's
It's
the
a funny
fuck?
fucking read.
It's a pretty
That's what
funny
incels
read.
are. That's what
That's
incels
horrific.
believe.
So I mean, hold up. This guy. What I'm hearing is this guy wanted a sister, so he killed a bunch of people because he couldn't do the "What are you doing?" you know meme with his own sister.
Oh, he had those, like, you guys know those certain brands that are just gaudy looking shit, but they're only famous because they're expensive, like Gucci or Louis Vuitton or whatever the fuck they call them. Yeah,
Louboutin.
like whatever. That's the brands this guy would exclusively wear, and he would get so fucking offended that women wouldn't worship him for it. Basically, in all of his videos, he like takes off his glasses and he goes, "Look at my glasses. They're $400." Yet
That
all the
means women should
Stacys
want me.
flock to the Chads instead. They don't even notice how expensive my glasses are. It's like, yeah, normal people don't give a fuck.
I do want to say so. It is like mostly personality with incels. I would say there's definitely some unfortunate people that just like probably no one would realistically find them attractive, but most of the time it is personality. Like what's his
Yeah.
name? Elliot Rodger wasn't like an extremely unattractive guy by any means. He was pretty standard looking actually. Like some girls, I'm sure, would have found him quite attractive had he had like a decent personality that like didn't scare off everyone within like a 20-kilometer radius. Like
He had that
he was
yeah, he must have
by
just
the
been a
way-
complete fucking weirdo.
And he was set for life. He was rich. He was rich as fuck. He was the son of the, I think, co-director of the Hunger Games movies. There's like
He
photos
was?
of him on the red carpet. Yeah.
Yep, he was the son of a famous director. I don't know if it was the Hunger Games, but yeah, it was a famous director.
So he was already set for life, and he just couldn't figure out why he couldn't get a girl. And I agree, it's because of his personality. Clearly,
Yeah, it usually is.
I found the excerpt, gentlemen. Elliot writes, I eventually grew to hate him after I heard him having sex with my sister. I arrived at the house one day, my mother being at work, and heard the sounds of Samuel plunging his penis into my sister's vagina through her closed door.
So that's what sex is. Okay.
Along with my sister's moans. I stood there and listened to it all. So my sister, who is 4 years younger than me, managed to lose her virginity before I did. It reminded me of how pathetic I was, that at the age of 22, I was still a virgin. I hated her boyfriend as well.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, that is pretty horrible.
my sister
weird.
said... My sister said that he's been with 2 other girls before her, and I'm sure he lost his virginity at a much younger age. It's such an injustice. The slob doesn't even have a car, and he's able to get girlfriends, while I drive a BMW and get no attention from any girls whatsoever.
Exactly, dude. Exactly. It's a personality thing. These dudes think that because they have money, they're automatically supposed to get women. It just kind of shows that their theory is incorrect, though. Their theory is that women only want money, and yet they say shit like this. It's like it's hypocritical.
Personality. It's personality.
He's obviously just a dumbass.
Yeah. Andrew,
Yeah.
is there something that you would recommend to our incel listeners if they want to possibly get a mate in the future?
It's something I'd recommend to all of our listeners, and it's ExpressVPN. Because if your internet browsing isn't protected, well, I don't think you're going to be a very successful person at all. A few decades ago, private citizens used to be largely that. Private. And what's changed? The internet. Think about everything you've browsed, searched, watched, tweeted, Facebooked, liked, shared, subscribed, hashtagged, what the fuck ever you want to do with your internet lingo. Now imagine all that data being crawled through and looked at by third parties into a big permanent public record. Do you want that? Do most people want that? Probably not. I don't. I don't know about you, but I don't. And that's why I turn to ExpressVPN. There are hundreds of data brokers out there whose sole business is to buy and sell your data. And the worst part is they don't even have to tell you who they're selling it to or get your consent. But with ExpressVPN, my connection gets rerouted through an encrypted server, and my IP address is masked. Every time I turn on ExpressVPN, I'm given a random IP address shared by other ExpressVPN customers, making it more difficult for third parties to identify me and harvest my data. And the best part is how easy it is to use, no matter what device you're on, phone, laptop, smart TV, smartphone, smart laptop, smart whatever. All you have to do is tap a button and get protected. So if you're like me, or Kaya, or Jackson, or Charlie, or probably most people listening to this show because they're smart, you believe that data is your business. And you can secure yourself with the #1 rated VPN on the market by going to expressvpn.com/official. Get 3 extra months for free at expressvpn.com/official. Go to expressvpn.com/official to learn more.
Good transition, though.
Thank you.
As always.
Is it that there must be a female version of an incel, surely?
We've talked about it like 100 times now. What do you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
Jackson.
They're not big. I don't see them on the internet ever.
Is there a name
does
for
anyone
it?
have a
Twitter
story?
Girls on the
feminist,
internet,
Jackson?
Jackson.
Jackson, it's
screaming?
literally just every feminist on Twitter. That's what a female incel is. I'm not even
They don't
joking.
have a name. They don't have
No,
something
that's
catchy
different.
like Stephanie's or something. We don't have like a name for them.
No, well, I don't know. But, I mean, I'm not joking about this. Every single fucking time when you see a Twitter feminist get like 500,000 likes, take her tweet and just replace the gender nouns, like just switch them. Turn he into she, and it sounds exactly like something Elliot Rodger would say. Except Elliot Rodger would have never gotten 500,000 likes. That's the only fucking difference between female incels and male incels. At some point, I thought about getting femcels.co and just redirecting it to fucking Twitter, because that's
I think it's
what
different.
I use.
I think it's different though. I never see like women complaining on the internet about trying to find a guy or a partner, or they
No,
feel
but
like
the
they're owed
rhetoric
sex and they
is-
don't get it. Well, then that's not
Okay,
what I'm
yes,
talking
they
about.
can
Though.
get
I'm
sex, but
asking, is there a version of incels that are like female based that is like that, where they're just desperately trying to get a guy or a partner?
Yes, there's like Forever Alone Female, I think. That was a subreddit.
I will say that I feel like it's a slightly different situation because in most cases, and forgive me if this comes across the wrong way, but I feel like in most cases, no matter how bad looking a female is, no matter how gross, nasty, and disgusting that she may be physically, not saying she's not beautiful on the inside, pretty much any woman on earth can go into a well-crowded area and raise their hand and say, who wants to fuck? And some guy there is going to do it. It's just the nature of it. I mean, that I feel like that's why there's like this societal view of, men who have too much sex being cool, whereas women who do it are bad or whatever, the societal view of it, because there's like a gift element with them, whereas it's a receiving element with us. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think so because as far as I'm concerned, any woman can get laid if she was. Some dude there is going to do it. I don't care if she's 86 years old, 700 pounds, and her third round of chemotherapy and has no hair on her body at all. She can go into a bar and say, who wants to fuck? And some dude there is going to take a shot and be like, I'll step up to the plate right now.
I try to debunk you, but I mean, from my time on the Kiwi farms, I can confirm that even the ugliest slobs have mates.
If they want it, they can get it,
It's not even it's that may sound like an attack on women or anything, but no, it speaks more to how us men are so fucking
that's what I'm
disgusting
saying.
That no matter how ugly you are, there's a guy who's even more desperate than how ugly you are.
Yeah. I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want it to be taken the wrong way. Like I'm saying something bad about women. I'm just saying it's really bad about men. It says more about us than them. I agree that no matter how horrific it is. You guys seen Fight Club? You remember the girl that's like in cancer? She's like in late stage chemotherapy, and in the book it says that she looked like a skeleton wrapped in tape or something like that. And she's like, "I'm just trying to have sex one more time." And then in the book, I don't think they did in the movie. In the book, some guy left with her. So I mean, it's pretty accurate depiction of humanity.
Girl in the movie? Because
no. I'm talking about one of the support groups that he was going to. No, and I'm not talking about what's her name, Marla or whatever. I'm talking about this is just some random like one-off character, Yeah. And she said that she wanted to have sex one more time. And in the book, some guy leaves with her, even though she's like, like I said, 70 years old and battling chemo and all that stuff. And somebody left with her. And I was like, I mean, that's a fairly realistic scenario, in my opinion. The guy might not jump up in front of everybody and say, I'll do it. But he's going to go up to her on the slick and be like, hey, I heard you want what I got. I think I can help you out with that shit.
Like the Horny Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'll fuck her one last time before she dies.
Yeah. Take one for the team. It's a charitable act. That's how he's going to portray it anyways when his friends bust him out about it. He might just go up to her on the slick, But I mean, I feel like that's why there's like a slightly different mechanic. I'm not saying there's not what would essentially be the equivalent, but as far as like a woman that just desperately wants a man, it's just a slightly different scenario, I guess. Because I feel like a lot of the incel guys just want to get laid one good time. You know what I mean? And they're desperate to like, if only I could get laid just this one time. And then
some of them, yeah, but a lot of them, yeah. Charlie, you go. You haven't spoken much this episode. Go.
Well, I don't know why we're singling me out. Andrew said one thing, and it was for the ad.
Yeah,
but I was gonna say it's. Well, I mean that's the truth. I'm not trying to be mean to Andrew.
I'm glad you finally spoke
you put
up,
him
Charlie.
on tilts now.
You just shifted blame.
You threw him off balance, Jackson.
Yeah, I don't know why that was targeted at me when I was talking.
Well, I was just like rationalizing why I was going to stop talking and let you talk.
Well, I've changed my mind. Okay. You can talk now.
I've forgotten what we were saying. Andrew, take over.
I'm sure it was a very valid point.
Yeah, what the fuck do you want me to say? I wasn't even.
I don't know. Someone say something.
Charlie spoke up to say something, and then you ragged on him for no reason, and now we've completely lost the topic.
Well, I didn't rag on him. We both talked. Jesus, we both talked at the same
time.
Chill.
Hey, I didn't say shit. That was the whole point.
Oh my god,
we're selling each other
Jackson,
now.
To you asking, there's a subreddit called Forever Alone Women, which could be, I guess, considered an incel sub because it is women who don't get laid and have no mates, but it's. Like, it doesn't have the anger aspect that the male incels have, because when you go to the subreddit and you read the top posts, it's more depressing. Like, I read some of these posts. It's like, I can't contain my jealousy. I'm at a breaking point. Help. And it's this woman talking about how she's envious how, there's prettier and younger, more successful women at her work, and she wants to kill herself. It's like sad shit. It's not this angry, let's imprison all men and cut their dicks off talk.
Right.
That you would expect from a female internal. That you find on Twitter, the let's kill all men and cut their dicks off and fucking euthanize male children and abort them all.
That's different.
That's what I mean by Twitter. To me, is the female incel website, whereas this is just sad. Look at this 63-year-old kissless virgin.
Kissless?
Yeah.
Did you say kissless? Oh God.
Wasn't that a very There was a very famous singing show in the UK, I think, and the winner, she was a 60-year-old granny, kissless, virgin, right? I forget what her name was.
That's just sad, man. I mean, at least somebody's going to be trying to dip in that sugar bowl for some money, if nothing else. Now she might have missed the window for being able to have kids if that's what she was aiming for. But damn,
Susan Boyle, thank you. Yeah, her. Well, I mean, Josh, it might not be too late. I know you're hitched now and you have a child and everything, but I mean,
yeah,
shit, she
I'm
might
going
be
to
doing well
refrain
for
personally.
herself.
Oh, really? No. I'm gonna. I think I'll stay committed to my marriage, but tell her to hit me up. No, I'm just kidding.
She has an
know that.
angelic
Susan
voice.
Boyle, huh? I've heard that name. Yeah, she's a singer, right? You said, yeah.
Yeah.
She won The Voice or something. I didn't know that about her. Oh, is that her?
Yeah.
Oh,
She was around before you went to jail. She's an OG.
She's an OG. She's an OG femcel.
I'm gonna slide that one over to Andrew's desk or Jackson's desk. We're gonna put that particular assignment elsewhere. But at least she's a great singer. Why does she look like a Meryl Streep character though? She looks like she would be like Meryl Streep would play her in a movie. If that's already happened, I swear to God, I didn't know.
Oh,
I'm sure she is a nice person. Yes, guys. The chat was like, she's a nice person. I'm not saying she's a bad person. Good grief.
You'll take that back once she drives a van into a group of men and shoots up a frat.
Yeah, she's going to do the reverse situation. It just seems like dudes turn the anger outward, whereas women internalize it more, I guess, at least in this particular instance. I'm not saying in general.
I would say in general. I would say it's more likely that men are going to violently act on their impulses than women do.
I would agree personally. Yeah,
Duh.
I was just kind of trying to refrain from sweeping generalization so as not to piss anybody off. But I do think in general, yeah, men are more outward with their rage, whereas women have more of an existential crisis about it instead. Whereas dudes will start blaming other people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something about the male ego. I don't know. We just don't want to ever acknowledge that we're not perfect or something. I don't fucking know.
It's like when you look at prison stats, 98% of violent crimes committed by males. It's like, I mean, you know. At some point, you can't just ignore biology here.
Testosterone's a hell of a drug, guys.
The rule it holds. Okay, what else do you have here? Turkish Oil Wrestling. No.
What?
No,
What is that for? What are you reading?
What? You don't know Turkish Oil Wrestling?
Oh, no. No, I don't.
Have you
I'm not
played
Turkish,
Street
my guy.
Fighter?
When I was a
Yeah,
kid?
do you know Hakan? I think I don't even know when he was introduced.
Hakan. Yeah.
I think it was
4.
Street Fighter 3.
4.
I'm about to
Okay,
learn
yeah.
about something that I never wanted to know about. Is this going to be gross?
So I don't
Do
have
you
time to do this.
consider a
but chat, can
traditional
you flood
sport among men gross? I mean,
Typically, yes.
no. Well, then, yeah, it's gross.
What if
Oh,
they were
you think
almost
boxing
completely
is
naked
gay,
and oiled up?
Josh? Do you think it's
Yeah.
gross?
No, that's pretty manly.
Okay, so it's not
So
boxing.
take away the
Instead,
gloves,
you
add
lather
oil, and
yourself
grapple.
in
All right.
olive oil, and you stick your hand in your opponent's pants.
Well, now, since you put it that way, it sounds a lot more straight, in my opinion, personally.
Just sounds like a good time.
Olive oil? Why olive oil of all the oils? Good
Okay,
grief,
so
I mean,
it's tradition, bro. All right, so for those of you who have never heard of Turkish oil wrestling, dear audience, type it into Google. And what it is, it's essentially...
Make sure safe search is off first.
It's wrestling.
On images,
not
.google.com.
pro wrestling. It's actual professional wrestling, except both fighters are covered in olive oil to make them like slippery pigs, to add an element of difficulty. At least that's what they tell us. And they wear nothing but these black leather pants. And in order to get any leverage on your opponent, because they're covered in olive oil, remember, you can't just grip their arms because they're going to have an easy time wiggling out of your grip. So what you have to do is you have to stick your hand into their leather pants and rummage around for you to find any sort of leverage, something to get a hold of. And then you get up behind them and you push your pelvis into their buttocks until they submit.
all right, count me in. You convinced me.
Promise.
That was the best advertisement for Turkish oil wrestling that I've ever heard in my life.
So
It was
I have
also
a
the
question.
worst one I've ever heard because it's the only one I've ever heard. But you can count me in, man. That sounded like a good old time, is what that sounded like. Kick back with the boys, crack a brew, and do some Turkish oil wrestling.
Yeah,
I have a
crack
question.
an oil.
Kaya, so I'm looking at all these promotional pictures of the Turkish oil wrestling. Why is it just conducted out in a random field.
Somebody posted a picture of it. He's right. It is in a random fucking field.
They
Oh yeah,
all
no.
are. What's
So
up
they
with
usually
that?
do it like they're in like an open air stadium and shit. Like imagine if the Americans did this in a football stadium, essentially on the grass. That's all. They do it outside. There's no official
okay.
ring or anything. They just wrestle out on the grass, and their
It's only
families and shit
one
watch.
man's dick remains untwisted. Is this where that meme "twist his dick" comes from? Is Turkish Oil Wrestling? Twist his
I
dick.
don't know.
I think we just found the origins of a meme, guys.
I don't
I'm
think
gonna
you
call
could
Wavy
do
Webster.
this on anywhere other than grass, though, because your foot would be way too slippery to even stand up on like a mat. Right?
True. Yeah, true.
So
Yeah,
how do you win?
you're right.
How do you win, Kaya? I'm watching it, and I don't see a whole lot of thrusting, just a lot of taint grabbing and ass cheek holding.
Wait, you try to
That's
win?
unfortunate.
As far as I know, you either have to submit the person and they
playing
have to
is
tap
winning.
out, or you can also, and I think this is unique in wrestling and like Turkish wrestling, you can pick them up, your opponent, and then you have to carry them for like 6 paces or some shit, and then you win. So if they can't get down from you, you win.
Pretty
Oh, okay.
cool. I
Yeah.
mean, I think you're underselling the sport. I'm watching it right now. It seems like everyone's having a good time until someone comes.
Well, that means you win.
What do you mean until? That's when the good time starts. What do you mean, man?
When
That's
it
when it's
goes
getting
from
spicy.
slippery to sticky. Yeah.
Of course they're having fun. They're getting hand jobs in every fucking round. I'd be pretty happy with that.
It's a sport to see who busts last.
What's up with these promo pictures as well? Like of them all in like a lineup with hands down each other's pants. It's so
They're just demonstrating how the sport
Interesting.
works.
Camaraderie.
Yeah, it's just brotherhood, man. That's all. Don't hate.
We should have taken photos like that when we were together.
Yeah, we should.
Charlie, do we have an
wrestle.
incoming video on this phenomenon? Do we have a Moist Critical original about Turkish oil wrestling?
I think there's no chance I actually could. Let's see.
Not enough footage, huh?
I mean, that's the thing. For all the jokes, like they're clearly gay as fuck. All of them. I'm calling you out. Sorry, but they will rip you in half. Like these motherfuckers are so strong. I don't know if you know.
I mean, judging by these pictures, they look like they beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
bears.
Most of them look ripped.
Yeah, that's it sounds like a sport that I'd like sign up for because it sounded like a meme, and then I see everybody grabbing each other's dicks, and I'm like, all right, I tap, I'm out. All right, I tap. You win, I lose. You're alpha.
Like you wouldn't walk up to these guys and call them gay to their face.
No,
In a
they would-
very
they would pummel me.
homophobic country, they would rape you just to prove they're not gay, which would be ironic, but they do it.
I mean, that's how you show alpha, right? I mean, they're just showing you that's how they prove it. I understand, man.
Some of these pictures are so romantic as well. Like they're cuddling from behind with his hands on his pants. It's beautiful.
Like if you were
crying into
slow-moing
his
it.
shoulder.
You watch a
Yeah.
slow-mo video of it and put a little nice violin music behind it, maybe, you know? It's just, it's Turkish Brokeback Mountain.
Yeah, it genuinely is. Yeah.
This dude just legit posted a picture of somebody pouring oil in his pants right now.
Yeah. What's up with
See
that?
that? I mean, wow. This
You know
sport
the
is no
fucked up
joke.
part though? Like olive oil is so expensive too. So this is costly. This is high class here.
Yeah, but I mean, look at the crowd they're drawing, man. I mean, it's a stadium sport, you know?
Yeah.
an
You said, wait, you
event.
said it was traditional. Is it like endorsed by the government?
I mean, it's not, I don't know if it's endorsed by the governments, but it's definitely one of our traditional sports. Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's kind of like, you know, like in America, a lot of politicians and stuff remind everybody that they were star quarterbacks and all that. Maybe that's how the politicians there are, you know, like, hey, man, I was the best dick twist oil wrestler in the whole
He
territory,
grabbed
all right?
so many balls.
Yeah, I've grabbed more balls than all you guys, all right? So I win. Because in America, people are like, oh, you played football? All right, hell, I'll vote for him. Okay, why not? So, I mean, I can see the parallel here, you know?
Yeah, kind
But
of.
the chat says they'd be interested in watching it, you know? They're like, hey, I'd buy the tickets. Oh my God, look at that picture. I think I got
like put some of these
Wait, he's
photos
got
up.
his hand in the back. He's got his hand. He's either going for a reach around or he completely misunderstood how to submit your opponent. I'm not sure exactly which one he's going for here.
So wait. For
Wait, these are
audio
the rules,
listeners- Wait. For audio listeners, I should paint the picture here. There's a Turkish man on the ground on all fours with his ass in the air, basically, and another strong Turkish man standing over him with his hand on his neck, pushing his head into the ground, and his other hand reached
It's going
straight
down the back
Yeah,
of his pants,
yeah,
not the front,
yeah.
the back.
I was watching some of the videos. The pictures don't do it justice. They like rub their hands in their ass crack like they're swiping a credit card. I think that might be another win condition.
That's one of the automatic submission rules right there.
So
Is that me
Again,
and Kaya?
Huh?
well, it's just
No, sorry, I was reading the chat again.
I was just going to ask though, if people were going to check out this sport, what do you think they'd listen to it on?
Hopefully
Raycon,
Raycon,
right?
so you can hear all the slippery oil noises and the grunting and moaning.
Exactly. Kaya and I are on the
wouldn't
same
be very high
fucking
definition.
wavelength, and that's because I'm listening to Kaya. And when I choose to listen to things, I very often choose to listen to them on Raycon earbuds. Summer's coming up, folks. How many months we got left? Like 1.5? 1? Half? Not even? Shit. What am I going to do at the beach? If I go to the beach, which is the perfect place to go during the summer, I'm going to look like a fool with stupid wireless earbuds. I'm going to look insane if I'm wearing garbage headphones. I'm going to look like a cryptic madman if I happen to be wearing absolutely unfashionable pieces of media technology. And whether you are someone who's, I don't know, listening to our podcast, or maybe some death metal, maybe you're listening to Appalachian folk music, maybe you just enjoy listening to a recording of your refrigerator running overnight to make sure that it's still making your ice. It doesn't matter. Raycon wireless earbuds in your ears will make all the difference. You'll get crisp, powerful beats at half the price of other premium audio brands. Raycons look great and feel even better, and they come in a range of cool colors. Electric blue happens to be my favorite. I say this every time, but that's the pair I got, and I think they look fucking sharp. Raycons are built to go wherever you go with seamless Bluetooth pairing and a compact charging case. Also, Raycon 24-hour battery life. I've recently picked up running. If you go outside, you might see me there because I'm running all over the world, and I need battery life. I don't want to have to worry about that shit when I'm gone from my house for hours. Do you? Probably not. So maybe you want to pick up some Raycons. And now's the time to do it because Raycon is offering 15% off of all their products at buyraycon.com/OP. You'll get 15% off your entire Raycon order, and it's such a good deal, you'll get a pair and a spare. That's 15% off at buyraycon.com/OP. Buyraycon.com/op or OP. Okay.
All right, good enough.
We got the mold of science. It'll really capture the bass of the grunts. Feel free
again,
cut
to
that
me,
part
this is
out.
super funny because this is taking place in a country where, like, being gay will get your ass beat at best, and
Yeah.
at worst, it'll get you decapitated. Like, our police loves to break up gay pride parades and shit with, like, water cannons and batons and just crack some skulls.
I don't
But
see it
the
as ironic
funniest
at all. I
thing-
see it as an outlet.
Jesus. Look at those photos.
Yeah, that might be a
But the
good point.
funniest thing to me, and it'll never stop being funny to me, that in the Middle East, you're only considered gay if you're the bottom. If you're the one doing the fucking, the top, you're not gay.
No, I noticed that with other cultures in prison as well. They don't think you're gay if you're messing with dudes as long as you're the one receiving the pleasure. If you're the one that's like, taking it or whatever, then you're gay. It's like that with many non-American cultures, I can definitely say. I'm not going to shout out any ethnicities here or anything, but I can say that apparently is it is a popular
Turkey,
opinion.
Iran. Well, I will shut them out. I mean, that's the whole thing. Like, did you guys know? I don't know
I
if
didn't know any.
I must
like,
have told you guys,
Iran
right?
people.
Where you can escape in Turkey. You can get around military duty by proving them that you're gay. Have you talked about
Oh
this?
wow! No, I had not heard of
I
that.
don't think so.
So in Turkey, being gay is still considered a mental illness. So what you can do is go to the recruitment office. Our army is mandatory, by the way. So you can go to them and say, hey, I can't serve because I'm a huge homo. And they're going to be like, well, prove it. And then you have to provide them provide them photos of yourself sucking dick or getting fucked.
What? Holy shit.
And you have to prove, this is important. You have to prove that you are the bottom. Like, you can't show them a photo of you getting your dick sucked because that means you're not gay. You have to be the one doing the dick sucking, and then they're like, oh, okay, you're fucking crazy, you're mentally ill, and then they give you something called a pink slip, basically. It says you're
they're like,
insane, and you can't
lock
serve.
the door.
But the thing is, the military keeps those photos, first of all, which is
And they
already
display
bad,
them
right?
across
You
the
have to-
town.
Yeah, it's promo material.
Not
Yeah.
that,
for the oil
but
wrestling
here's what happens. So
competitions.
in Turkey, what happens is when you apply for a job as an adult male, well, the hiring guy is gonna ask you, okay, did you do your military duty already? Because otherwise, they're probably not gonna hire you because they don't want to hire a guy who's then gonna get conscripted and be missing 2 years
Right.
of fucking work. They want you to prove that you've already served. And then when these gay guys, they show their the document that says, hey, I don't have to serve because I'm a big homo who likes big schlongs in his ass. Then the guy, the recruiter, the interviewer, he will call the military and ask, is this for real? And they will say, yeah, it's true. He's a fucking homo.
Here's the evidence.
And then everybody knows, essentially, right? Then the interviewer will spread this to the coworkers. They're all going to laugh the guy out of office. And before you know it, the whole neighborhood knows.
Is it one of the countries that has mandatory military service?
Yeah, we have a conscript army.
Oh, okay. So like 70% of the population has gay pictures somewhere, is what I would assume.
Many, many people, I would imagine.
And they're all getting outed in their hometowns and not even being able to get a job at like a supermarket.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
no, man, I'm never going to look at
It's
you the
what
same. I
happens.
saw that picture. I saw
I
that picture you
read
gave
it.
the recruiter. Now I don't want to work with you anymore.
Yeah, essentially. But it's just...
I mean, I'd do it. I'd do it to get out of mandatory
military service.
Yeah. Fuck yeah, I would.
you would
Imagine the one
would you
gay
suck
guy
dick?
that actually is gay, though, and he just doesn't like to take pictures of it. He's like about his privacy, so he's in the military now. Because he just refused to take selfies of himself having sex, so he just went and served.
I mean, I don't know.
But anyway,
how
the-
long
the
is
humor
mandatory
here
military
is-
service?
The most homophobic
2 years, right?
countries. And yet they do this oil wrestling shit where they put their arms up each other's butts and fist each other until you see a rosebud, a fleshy beehive hanging out of their assholes.
I mean, it makes sense, man. It's an outlet for them, you know? It's an outlet. I mean, now they have an excuse to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, maybe their wives are like, how come you always have an erection when you're wrestling Ahmed, but never with me in the bed? He's like, babe, it's a sport. There's like high testosterone. It's the adrenaline. I swear it's not you.
know? It's not you, babe. The blood just gets pumping, and I can't help where it goes, you know?
He was squeezing all the blood to my penis.
He only gets erections when he's in the kitchen cooking with olive oil.
He smells the olive oil, and he just gets a boner.
That's
He always loses on purpose to get his dick twisted. Oh, you totally threw that one, man. No. I really tried my best, man.
Oh no, I'm
Who's the
defenseless on
real
all
winner?
fours with my butt in the air.
Puts his hands behind his head and closes his eyes. Have at it. Taking you're getting an easy win. Who's the real winner here, though?
I don't know.
You won the wrestling match, but I busted, so looks like I'm the winner. I was unaware that Turkey was like a big homophobic country like that, but to be honest, I mean, if it's a traditional sport, man, I don't know how and when the oil got introduced. That adds a nice element of surprise to it, I guess. But
Yes, a modern twist.
But I mean, hey, if it's traditional, I mean, lots of countries got stuff that, I don't understand personally. They keep reposting that same picture of the guy clearly pulling that guy's pants down.
Begging for it.
He really is begging for it.
They clearly have a lot of passion, though. I mean, all these dudes'
right.
faces, I mean, they're definitely grunted into it,
Yeah.
Kai, where are you from again?
I was born in Germany,
Oh, damn. Well, I
but
tried.
I've lived in Turkey.
Hey, there it is. Hey, what's your ranking, man? What's your ELO score looking like on the, on the olive oil wrestling, man? Oh, yeah, how's your ELO looking? Are you platinum at the oil wrestling?
I can't say that I've ever entered the battle rift.
Oh man, that's disappointing.
Yeah,
I mean, to be
they
fair,
would
man, I've
snap
seen
me
dudes in
half.
prison lock up like that. I've seen I didn't see it, but I actually heard about a dude grabbing a dude by the dong when they were fighting in prison because he was getting his ass whooped and he didn't know what else to do. And the way the story goes, he went right down his pants with it and grabbed him a nice handful and got to twisting. So the twist his dick meme definitely hits a little bit different.
Are there? Okay, so what rules apply in like prison fights? Is it street fighting rules where everything goes? Because I can't see
Yeah,
convicts really caring too much.
No, prison rules are do as much damage as you possibly can, basically.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, if you're about to rape me in the fucking showers, then yeah, I'm gonna punch you in the balls. Fuck you.
Yeah, people
Where's
don't
the
care
honor?
if you fight dirty in prison, basically. it's not looked down upon. Plenty of people do fight like with honor, you know. Hell, I got in a fight with a dude one time and he busted me in my shit and I stumbled over the edge of the bed. We grappled and he got off the ground first and he could have stomped on my neck or kicked me in the side of the head or whatever he wanted to. And he just told me get up, you know. And then 2 days later, he was my cellmate. He actually became a really good friend of mine. But I mean, you know, it's pretty much up to you. I mean, dudes they microwave baby oil for like 20 minutes and then throw it on people's face and melt their face off and shit like that. So,
But the worst part about
goes.
that, though, it might damage your MVMT watch if it gets on your wrist, right, Andrew?
That is
That would suck.
completely correct. I would not want that anywhere near my movement watch. And let me tell you why.
Yeah.
In a tiny apartment in Southern California, two college dropouts teamed up to create a watch company that broke all the rules. With fair prices, unexpected colors, and clean original designs, Movement grew into one of the fastest growing watch brands, shipping to over 160 countries across the globe. Do you hear that? Do you hear my Superman voice? Do you hear my big comic book narrator voice right now? It's because I'm so excited to announce the superhero known as Movement. All four of us boys wear Movement accessories. They don't just have watches, they also have blue light glasses. They're called Everscroll. And if your eyes are like mine and they get dry and crusty and filled with the goddamn Sahara Desert from even scrolling through Twitter for 2 minutes, you might want to put these Everscroll glasses on your face and then give it a try. Helps with eye strain and poor sleeping patterns, and they look super duper sharp. But if we're talking about Movement, we of course also have to mention that their watches have the look and quality of a $400 to $500 watch, but you're going to pay a fraction of the price because you get them straight from online. Beautiful watch shipped right to your door for free, and if you don't love it, you can also ship it back for free. If you want to elevate your look with style that doesn't break the bank, then join the Movement and get 15% off today with free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/official. mvmt.com/official. Take the word Movement, take out most of the vowels, some of the letters too. Leave yourself with MVMT and go there at mvmt.com/official for 15% off.
Charlie, Andrew, do we have any internet happenings? Any drama? Any funny business?
Nothing too wild that I know of. Unfortunately, it's been a pretty quiet week this week on the internet.
Yeah, nothing
saying
interesting I've
something, man.
found.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
look back in topics,
you brought it up earlier. You hate Pokemon Snap, right, Andrew?
Yeah, it's very boring. It is, it's like a $30 game they're selling for $60.
I was thinking about trying it too, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I might still give it a shot, but that is disappointing.
No. So what a lot of people tend to forget is the first game is also very boring. Like back in 1999, it was cool, but it's a very, very slow on-rail shooter. And that's the
Good
whole
point.
game
By today's
with like
standards.
6 levels. So they re-released that same exact thing in 2021. It's a very, very slow, barely interactive on-rail shooter with forced, very slow tutorials. Like it is not a fun
I feel like that's
game.
what people wanted from Snap, though. That's why people liked it in the first place.
I think people
right?
only like it because they have nostalgia for the first game. I think anyone playing
absolutely.
it just straight up is going to immediately be bored if they're like not a kid.
And what's the point of having Snap in this day and age if you can't go to like Blockbuster and print out your Snap
Well,
photos?
it's just amazing how it's not improved after all this time. Like, why not make an open world game where you have a camera and you can pick the angle of a photo you take, or you can set up shots, or you can like add more Pokemon
That's
to
just
a scene.
a camera mode in any other game. Like any other
Exactly.
modern game comes with a camera mode these days anyway.
And yet this game is
I'm not gonna
based
lie,
around.
that sounds fucking sick.
This game
the way you
is-
just described it.
What?
That sounds sick. Like one where you
Yeah.
could like set up tripods and try to bait them out and stuff like that, and like get sick Pokemon. Like, yeah, that'd be sick.
And
You can do
that's
that
the
with
whole
Bigfoot.
that's the whole point. There are games where this whole game's entire feature is like a side mechanic, but this is the only thing to do in the game. And also, I looked it up. The game's only about 6 hours long. So
oh fuck!
for $60, it's a
That's
really
probably for the better though.
boring game.
If the only mechanic is just a slow on rails shooter taking pictures of Pokemon, 6 hours is probably about as much as I could handle.
Exactly.
Of that. That sounds incredibly.
I
boring.
played the first
what
2
would be
hours
funny?
and literally gave up. I was so goddamn bored of it.
Damn,
It's
man.
not
Imagine if
good.
you
That's
had like
disappointing.
Pokemon TikTok Snap game where you take out your phone, you go on a plane, and you have to catch Charizard without his mask, and then you dox him and shit. And that's how you like capture him.
The 2021
He's a big Twitter star, but you keep replying to every one of his posts with that photo. Like, what do you have to say about this, huh? What do you have to say about this?
About that time you didn't wear a mask.
You do better. And the more you do that, the more damage it does.
That's great.
He's weak enough to be captured now.
Fuck. But yeah, it's
Part of the appeal when I was a kid was just seeing 3-dimensional Pokemon, you know? I loved it. They captured it in the natural habitat, but I was also a little kid when that shit came out. And I remember rumors, you know, like, oh, there's Bulbasaur on this one level, and it was like super magical to me, but now I'm fucking 28 and I'm just not sure it's going to hit the same, you know?
It's entirely carried by nostalgia. And the other fun related thing is I've been streaming modded Pokemon games lately, like fan games, and they are just so much fucking better than what Nintendo's actually making.
Oh yeah,
they're just so good.
Yeah.
There's so many actually good modded Pokemon games out there, and they add like new mechanics and they add stuff in that's really interesting, and they change up the difficulty so it's more dynamic and not like a fucking handhold fest. It's just, there's so much potential to a franchise where the whole base is like, oh, you discover new creatures and fight them. Like, there's so much you can do, but everything Nintendo pumps out is such a basic, barely executed idea. It's
That's
frustrating.
Nintendo in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In 2021, I feel like Nintendo is not known for being in touch with their fan base.
It's disappointing.
They finally added multiplayer to Mario Party like a week ago. After like 3 years of releasing the fucking game, which I appreciate. I love it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But it's been 3
Fucking
years.
embarrassing.
is.
It's embarrassing. It took him 3 years to add something that should have been there on launch.
It could not. They're not a tiny indie team or something. I mean, this is Nintendo we're talking about. You could have done this within a week when we all knew that we had to lock down like last year. You could have made gangbusters on the fucking pandemic. Instead, you do it now when the pandemic is basically fucking over and people are going back to regular life. Like, their business sense is... It sucks so much ass. I don't know if there's like some 70-year-old Japanese grandpa calling the shots who doesn't even know what the internet is.
It has to be, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't
Even
know.
without COVID, it just doesn't make sense for a party game like that not to have online capabilities.
Even their
it's fucking stupid.
even their online distribution is years behind. So I bought Pokemon Snap and only put a couple hours on it, and I wanted to return it, and apparently you cannot return any digital orders. They do not offer refunds on digital orders. The only time they do that is if the game like doesn't work or something goes wrong with the store. But if you regret a purchase or don't like a game or are not satisfied, they will not refund it. Meanwhile, Steam has had like a policy where it's like if you have less than 5 hours or something, you can return the game, no questions asked.
2 hours.
Yeah. And they've had that for years.
I feel like
But they also had to get sued into doing that.
I
did
did
they
have,
really?
Fair point, but
I feel like Nintendo.
You know what,
I
you
mean,
think these companies actually want those policies in
no,
place?
but it's kind of it's kind of shocking they have no refund policy when most companies have at least something. Steam and Epic Games and
Right.
all of them have at least something.
Yeah.
That's Andrew. That's actually only a pretty modern or a pretty recent change to these storefronts. Like Xbox, PlayStation, those are still very recent changes. They used to not allow refunds either.
True.
Xbox's refund policy, I know this for a fact, is you got one freebie basically. You got one chance to refund one game, and after that, they wouldn't consider any other refunds for you. So you had to choose your refund wisely,
gets one.
basically.
True. True.
I feel like Nintendo really had their finger on the pulse of gaming in like the late 80s through the 90s, and they've just kept that big-headed attitude ever since, basically, you know? I mean, what are the console wars about now? It's just Xbox and PlayStation. Nintendo's not a contender in that, you know? It's almost like the Switch is like almost like a niche platform,
Yeah, you
sort
say
of, you
that,
know?
and yet it's the fastest selling console every month for the last 2 years.
Is it really?
Yes,
still-
the Switch
yeah,
is
I'd still say it's
amazingly
my-
successful.
They sell.
I didn't know
so
that.
Yeah.
much.
I know. I
still
only know
use it
two
the
people
most.
that have
It's-
one, so
Their games
that's
are
not
fun. It just-
obviously.
I don't know.
Obviously, me only knowing two people with it is not exactly a big enough sample
Yeah.
size of the people that I know, you know, but I still was like, I played Breath of the Wild and I thought it was fucking incredible, but I haven't played any other Switch games since then, you know, and my wife played
They're
Animal Crossing for a while.
They're definitely a company that coaxes off their like keystone IPs.
And
Right, yeah,
and
yeah.
the problem
Yeah.
is that when they want to give a shit, they can do great things with those IPs. I mean, Mario Odyssey is very arguably the best 3D Mario game. It's very, very good and very inventive, but some of their IPs, they just don't give a fuck. Star Fox was fucking shit onto the ground. F-Zero hasn't had a new game in like 20 years.
Metroid
Yeah,
Prime.
God knows what's happening with Metroid and Metroid Prime. Like they have really big winners. Breath of the Wild was great. Mario Odyssey was great, but like Pokemon, while it's still
Splatoon.
going, is a fucking mess. Like there's some things they clearly care about and some they don't, and it sucks. Smash Brothers
They
is
are
great.
extremely
but-
successful. They have the means to do great things with these IPs because they make absolute so much money, like a ridiculous amount of money from their hardware sales as well as their storefront and IP sales.
Right.
The DS, the 2DS, the 3DS, the Game Boy. Those are all best-selling consoles in their own right. The Wii was
Yeah.
the most best-selling console of all time.
Also, I should clarify.
they've got
I should
back-
clarify the actual developer of these games, Pokemon, is Game Freak, which we've also
The
talked
worst
about.
developer of all
Yeah,
time.
they have literally never
we
made a
talked
good
about that.
video game, but Nintendo also is a big ass owner of Game Freak and owns Pokemon as a franchise, I believe is how the deal works out. So they can step in
Something
at
like that.
any time and take over development or assist with it, but they don't. They just don't.
So I think it's the Pokemon company that owns Pokemon, but Nintendo as well as Game Freak are shareholders of the Pokemon company.
It's some weird
Right.
relationship deal they have with it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it is.
I think
Nostalgia is very powerful. Coming from an old school RuneScape player, I mean, I can say that looking through the lens of nostalgia is going to distort you every time.
Yeah.
Stadia is
the
the
new
future.
Pokemon's
Oh, Stadium's another one
I
that's
forgot about
awful
Stadia.
that
No,
people remember.
Stadia.
Stadia? Oh, sorry.
Stadia. Google Stadia.
Oh, Stadia.
Jesus Christ.
Oh.
Wait, what is
all-
it?
I thought you were talking about
Thousand
Pokemon
days.
Stadium, which is another one people loved, but it's also a very boring game.
Yeah, I loved it when I was a kid. I don't think I'd sit through it
No,
nowadays.
Stadium is
I mean, it's
amazing.
the same
Stadia.
repetitive shit.
Stadium is incredible. People love it and have nostalgia for it, but all it is a Pokemon game with no story, and the battles are stretched to take 4 times as long. Like, fuck that.
Yep.
It's not great.
It was a cool setting though.
It's a neat idea. It's just such a slow game.
The best part about Pokemon Stadium, in my opinion, was the Doduo and Dodrio Tower, where you could put in your
You're
Game Boy game and
absolutely
play it at
correct.
triple speed.
Yeah.
Because you could grind out levels like crazy
Yep.
on that bitch.
I'm doing those modded games, and let me tell you, without the fucking emulator speed up function, it'd be a hassle. But just being able to speed through grinding is
Emulators
so
are a
nice.
godsend.
Yeah,
Those
pretty much in
guys-
every possible way.
They're angels. I mean, just a function of take this ancient, difficult fucking game that was merciless with save spots, and you can save at any point, and reverse and rewind and forward. I love those motherfuckers. Thank you for that. You're a
I
blessing.
do admit that's one of the things that I appreciated about Breath of the Wild, because I had a lot of trouble getting a hold of the combat, but you could just kind of screenshot save wherever pretty much, and just if you died or whatever, just reload back to it. It was really nice, like emulator style function right in the game.
By the way, next month is the 4-year anniversary of them announcing Metroid Prime 4 and us never ever hearing anything about it again.
Oh my god.
The way they just talked about it, I'm pretty sure. They basically, well, it might have actually
No,
been
they-
last
they
year. I'm
talked
pretty sure
about
they
it
said
2
they
years
started
ago.
development again.
Yeah, they talked about it 2 years ago, I think in 2019, to tell us, oh, we're starting from scratch, so it's going to be another 4 years, sorry. But they originally announced it in 2017. Holy shit,
Yep.
the Switch is old.
Wow.
Yeah, the Switch is old. I mean, it's about time that they, I think they do like a Switch, refresh. You know how they do like 3DS 2 or whatever,
Right,
like they
right.
refresh their lines. I imagine that's going to come this holiday season as a new Switch, like Switch HD or something.
Very good chance
Yeah,
of
I
that.
wouldn't be
Yeah.
surprised.
Yeah, which is probably going to be sold out within 20 minutes, and
Oh,
you're
absolutely.
never going to
Yeah.
get your hands on one until like probably 2023.
Right, yeah. I remember seeing the original patent. I read some video game magazine whenever I was locked up, and the patent was ridiculous. It was like an oval that was all touch screen, and it was Nintendo's patent for what became the Switch. And it was like the most basic looking shit. Like it looked like it was like Mr. Game & Watch on an egg, and it was handheld and no controls or buttons or joysticks at all. And I was like,
You
what the
used
fuck
your
do they got
mind
going
to
on?
control it.
Yeah, I mean that's
Telekinetic
honestly like
gaming.
what you would gather from it, because the patent was absurd, but obviously became the Switch, and I was like, this is pretty impressive. And I tried Breath of the Wild. That's the only game that I played on Switch. I do have Pokemon either Sword or Shield in it. Is that worth the playthrough?
Oh God, no.
I tried.
It's awful. It's awful.
Terrible.
It's my brother-in-law's Switch. My brother-in-law Tanner let me borrow it, so I think it might be my brother-in-law Tyler's game. So I was like, oh, we got both of the products here.
Do yourself a big favor, Josh. If you want a good Pokemon experience, download an Android emulator on your phone for either like Game Boy Advance or something, and just download fan games. There's hundreds of them now, and they're extremely competent and well made, and they're really good RPGs. Just do.
I will look
Did
into
you guys
that.
try that ripoff game Temtem on Steam?
Yeah, that's
No,
fun.
I think I heard about it. Though.
It was fun.
Is it
was
Pokemon?
It's decent. Yeah, I mean,
Or is
it's
it
not
similar?
the Pokemon franchise, but it's a direct ripoff, essentially. It is Pokemon, I hope they don't
But
sue
somebody
me for
maybe they had
saying
their
that,
finger
but
more on the pulse, and they were like, we can do this
Yeah.
better. We can do it the
I would
classic
say it's a
way.
better
Yeah,
game.
essentially.
It's a better game.
Essentially.
Yeah.
And I like that some of the old school things are still in play. Like, I was able to go on that game and within seconds pretend to be like, you guys know how when we were younger, we would play JMMORPGs or whatever the fuck they were called with like the pay to win games, And so what you would do is you would pretend to be a girl and find a boyfriend to fund you to be your sugar daddy and give you high level items. I did that within 5 minutes and got like a level 67 monster in the fucking game. So
yeah.
I'm glad that culture is still alive and well of like dorks scamming
How's your
other
relationship
dorks.
going?
Well, I broke up with him after he gave me the monster.
Oh, that's evil.
I told
first
him
time
I'll be
I
your
ever did
boyfriend. I told him I'll
Just
be your
made it
boyfriend
sound
for.
you son of a bitch.
So I told him I'll be your girlfriend. Uwu XD 4.01 Litecoin. And I sent him my Litecoin address, but never heard back. So I told him, do you have any monsters? And he gave me this one high-level thing that I think I sold off.
The very first time that I ever did that, I think I was 11 or 12 years old, and I was playing RuneScape, and I had a male avatar. I just put on a helmet so he couldn't see my beard. Didn't have boobs or anything. I put on a helmet.
While you were sexting in the wilderness or whatever, like halfway through the sexting, you should have taken off the helmet.
I did end up taking the helmet off. I mean, I was 11. I'd only been playing for like a month, and I was an Alcarid in the desert. And I still remember he was like trying to get me to go upstairs in the general store, and he gave me a gold necklace and like 200 GP, which was a lot to me at the time. And I was like, I have something to tell you. He was like, what is it, babe? And I took off my helmet and I just clicked on run and just took off. And he followed me all the way across the map because I didn't know that you could just log out back then and like get away from people and switch worlds. So we just went on this chase fest of him saying, give me back my necklace. Which is worth, absolutely nothing. It takes 30 seconds
What
to
if he
get,
was
but I
like,
thought
I
I got
love
over
you
on him.
anyway, babe. It's what's on the
handle a
inside
beard.
that counts.
I still
He
remember
had his
being only
suspicions.
11. There's no way this guy was younger than me, and I didn't even have a female avatar. I just put on a helmet and a bronze plate skirt, and this dude just fell for it like no problem. Like, you didn't realize I had the male
Elliot
body?
Roger.
Maybe he was just into that, He was like, hey, you never know what's under that skirt. He likes the mystery. Or he just thought I was flat-chested. That's pretty much what
huge pecs.
most of my old RuneScape memories boil down to. I also meant to ask you, Charlie, I've been meaning to ask you this for a long time. A lot of my friends want to know if you still have the Monkey Nuts collection or not.
Yeah, I do. I just haven't collected
I know you
in
don't
like
play,
2
but-
years.
We were just wondering if you're going to come in and crash the market for everybody,
No. I'm gonna
It's
hold
Charlie
Come
on.
in
This
and
looming
flood the
threat.
market with Monkey Nuts.
Yeah,
It's on everybody's
a
mind.
threat
Every
to
time
the
somebody
free
needs to buy
market.
Monkey Nuts, they're like, hold up now. The price might crash tomorrow. We don't know what Charlie's going to do. You might have to wait. He holds all the cards right now. He's probably got 70% of the market. But you're not going to sell, right? You're holding to the moon, I would assume, with the Monkey Nuts.
Yep, I'm gonna keep those bad boys forever. I have like 8 million.
Good God Almighty.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Bro,
good
just sell
collection.
some. Give some to your girlfriends on RuneScape.
Then they can take off their helmet and have a beard and just run. Not even switch
And run
worlds.
away.
Not even switch worlds, just straight up run. All right, I just figured I'd ask. A lot of people have asked me, they were like, you got to ask Charlie about the Monkey Nuts. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure he still has them. I don't think he's played in a long time, and I don't think he would just up and sell them like that.
Yeah, I still have them, of course. I'm not getting rid of them.
What was that game that you were playing yesterday, by the way?
Returnal.
I was
that
about to
new?
ask about that, actually, Charlie.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very fun.
It's good. Yeah.
Is it multiplayer, or were you playing by yourself? I couldn't tell.
No, it's single player. It's a roguelike game.
Is it Steam?
PS5,
PS5 exclusive.
Well, fuck, I'm hit. I only have a PC, and I guess a Switch that I've been borrowing from my brother-in-law for about a year now. But I think I'm going to stream some more variety this upcoming week whenever this video comes out. I'm going to, stray away from old school RuneScape for a little bit, try out some other games.
That's what I want to do, man.
I made the horrible mistake of asking... I made the terrible mistake of asking Charlie in a stream one time if he wanted to play Overwatch. That was a fuck up, and I didn't know it.
Oh, yeah. You can't just throw around that word all willy-nilly on the internet.
Yeah, you would have thought that I said a slur or something. The chat popped the hell off. Charlie was like, oh, God, did you just say Overwatch? And then all of a sudden, everybody was doing Omega LOL Verwatch. Yeah. And I was like, whoops. I didn't know. I'm not hip to it. I've been playing a lot of Halo 3 lately, though, so hopefully I get some of my street cred back, Right. 6 years in prison wasn't enough for my street cred, but, but playing Overwatch immediately killed all my street cred, I guess. So I've just been playing a lot of Halo 3.
It's awful. Overwatch is so bad.
It's one of the worst games around, to be honest. That shit is fucking
Really?
trash.
What happens?
Maybe it's just because I missed the the era of games, but I've always really enjoyed it since I first started playing it. It's not very balanced like it should be, and that kind of sucks. But, in general, I've had a good time playing it. It's no Halo, though. Halo's real close to my heart. I've been having a lot of fun playing Halo 3.
Yeah.
I've gotten a lot better since that game that I played with you, Charlie, by the way. Whenever Halo 2 or 3 came out, was it 2 came out? Or maybe it was even Combat Evolved. I got wrecked. We did a game and I got 0 kills.
Yeah, I do remember that. It was Halo 2.
Okay, it was when 2 came out. Yeah, that was an abomination.
There goes
I
your
did not know I could adjust my DPI.
Josh. You're not learning your lesson. Don't talk about your losses. You only brag about your wins.
Oh, we won. But I had 0 kills. No, we got rolled, and it was my fault. But now I can hold up a little bit better. It was 100% my fault. I'm not going to try and shift the blame to anybody else. And I got a really good friend of mine, Dave, Charlie. It's been a fan of yours apparently since your QWOP video. And Halo is his favorite game. And he was like, man, we're really good friends. And I've never been jealous. I don't embrace jealousy. But man, you were playing Halo with Charlie. I was fucking jealous. It was like, it was just cute. Like my 2 teenage years combined into one.
That's super sweet.
Yeah, he said that he was subbed to you when you had like 12,000, 15,000 subs or something like that. And he was like, in that day, I was jealous for once.
That is very old school.
Yeah, he said he was subscribed to you before Ray William Johnson. And I was unaware of the fact that you were ever on Ray William Johnson in the first place.
No way.
Claimed to have subbed before Ray William Johnson.
It's impossible.
I'm not going to lie. When I got out of prison the first time I was playing RuneScape, somebody messaged me and was like, yo, Penguin Zero made a video about you. And I was like, who? No offense, of course. I'd been in prison for the preceding 5 years at that point. That's no excuse. He was like, you don't know who fucking Charlie is? And I was like, no. And then whenever I watched your video, I was like, okay, I think I recognize the voice. But holy shit. And then I put 2 and 2 together because Kai had already commented on my video and said, do you want to go on the official podcast? My first video. And I was like, oh shit, okay, it's coming full circle now. This is those guys. All right, excellent. Now I figured it out. Which, of course, eventually led to 1, 2, and 3 parts of the official podcast. I'm very glad to be here.
All from a Kaya comment.
Thanks, Kaya.
It all started from a Kaya comment. And then I think Jackson's the one that emailed me about it originally, like I said. Or maybe Kaya set that up for Jackson to email me, but I think I exchanged emails with Jackson when I was at my in-laws' house last year, the first time we did this.
Not 100% sure anymore, but I think potentially your in-laws reached out to me.
That might have been what it was.
I remember receiving a nice message from someone saying,
yeah, my mother-in-law probably.
That would be such a unique experience. How do you forget that? I don't understand.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure that they did reach out, but I'm not sure the order in which it all transpired. Like if that was how I found out about Josh, or if Kaya told me about Josh, or like which order that happened in.
My mother-in-law messaged a few people. She messaged Lockdown 23 and 1 and ended up going on that show too. I would assume you guys haven't heard of him, I would guess, but he's a prison channel, you know. And I'm definitely not the typical fare for his channel. Most of the people go on his channel are like, yeah, what up, repping, South Compton. No, I'm saying I just did 20 years, got nice scars on my face, and I get on there and I'm like, I play RuneScape. It was fun. Prison was terrible.
Cute. You guys have your own niche community of ex-convicts on YouTube?
Most of them aren't gamers, to be fair, but yeah. I mean, I've met several through the grapevine. I can't go 24 hours without somebody, 10 people asking me if I know who Larry Lawton is, the jewel thief. He's been popping on YouTube for a year now. I haven't personally talked to him, but yeah, I mean, I know other online convicts, but most of them stick to Call of Duty. That's the only game that they play. If they play anything, they just play COD. And I don't really play much COD, so we're not exactly gaming together. But Lockdown's cool. Death is his name. He's also Josh, and it was pretty cool. He kind of put me in touch with some other convicts in the community, So if I ever need the support, I got it.
Sounds so weird.
I know it sounds weird, man, but coming out of prison and after even just a few years is fucking nuts, man. It's really cool to be able to like talk to other people and be like, man, how do we fucking do this? I don't even know. I come out and everybody's all lit, salty Bay fam and shit. And there's virtual reality now, and 4chan humor has become the mainstream internet sense of humor.
Were you exchanging Xbox gamer tags in your cells? Like,
yeah, it's Big X, Little X, Big Dick Bandit 69, Little X, Big X. I think I met one person who had ever even heard of RuneScape the whole time I was locked up. Everybody just knew that it was a computer game because I would come out with my paperwork like you have to. You show what you're in for and show that you didn't snitch on anybody. I'd give them my paperwork and they'd start reading it and just start laughing. Are you kidding me, man? My son plays these games. He's all the time in his room screaming at those people on them duty calls and stuff like that, And I'm like, yeah, well, that's more or less what I did. I just kind of went a little bit too far with it, and here I am.
Not even manslaughter, you pussy.
Yeah, I know, right? Like, man, you're the weakest criminal in here, but it's fucking funny. Because, I would tell him point blank, I'm really not, honestly, in my opinion, by the normal consideration, I'm not a criminal. The only crimes I committed prior to my incarceration was the regular purchase and use of illicit substances. That's it. I didn't steal stuff. I didn't, allegedly buying and using illicit
Josh,
substances.
I actually have a question.
Yeah.
How many innocent people do you think are in prison?
Not as many as claim it. That's for damn sure. It's not like Shawshank Redemption where everybody says they're innocent. Most people just disagree with their sentence. Like some dude sold, a pistol and he got 30 years and stuff like that. I can say that a very, very, very high percentage of at least federal inmates, because that's my only experience with the FBI and their incarceration, a very high percentage did get railroaded. It was exaggerated and their sentence was abnormally long. As far as actual innocence goes, I don't know anybody that ever claimed that they straight up didn't do it. I was in county jail with a guy, though, that was about to plead guilty to a weed selling charge because somebody wore a wire on him. The day before he pled guilty, he got his discovery. His lawyer came to see him. Discovery is where the prosecution has to show you the evidence against you so you can be prepared. And it turns out it wasn't even him in the fucking video. It wasn't even him. He just had a similar haircut. So he was one day away from pleading guilty and going to prison. So needless to say, he took it to court and beat it. And I was like, bro, that's because he just happened to be a weed seller too, But the dude had the same haircut as him. So our racist ass local prosecutors were just like, whatever. Close enough. He's got the same haircut.
That's so fucked
Jesus
up.
Good enough. He was one day away from pleading guilty, and he already had a prior. He'd already been to prison for selling weed too. Not that stopped him from doing it when he got out again, because it's even harder to get a job once you're a felon, obviously. He goes to look at his discovery. He came back to the pod like, bruh, that's not even me in the video. That's crazy. They just gave us the evidence. These old racist ass dudes just were like, whatever. It's a black teenager with an eraser haircut. Screw it, just arrest one. And he almost pled guilty to it too. Is the crazy part,
just
man.
Arrest one.
just arrest one. We got a video of somebody, and probably they were expecting him to just flat out cop a plea like he was about to do, And that was just one of the weirdest. So in that case, as far as what he was charged with at the time on video, that was not him. He was innocent. He wasn't innocent of doing it in general, but he was innocent in a particular instance.
So did you meet anyone in your prison adventures where you genuinely thought they were innocent? They might not have said they were innocent or anything, but was there anyone throughout the system that you thought was potentially actually innocent?
Not that comes to my mind, man. I mean, most of them will point blank tell you they did it,
What does that mean?
No, correction. I got something really crazy. This dude was my cellmate, my boy Rob, man. He was a felon. He'd already been to prison, There are very, very, very strict laws about felons being around guns in the United States. Not having guns, but being around guns. If I'm in a house with a gun in it, if I go over to deliver some mail or some shit and I'm standing in this dude's living room and the cops show up and there's a gun in that house, mandatory minimum 5 years. I cannot get less than 5 years.
Holy shit.
Whether I knew the gun was there, whether or not I could get to it, there are loopholes, such as if it is in a safe, then, they can't charge me with it. However, they will try. They'll say, for all we know, he could have known the combination. And yes, I'm using my imitation of my prosecutor's voice. But my cellmate Robert was at his girlfriend's house, and the cops showed up for some reason, probably a domestic dispute. I mean, no offense, but he's from Florida, and y'all are buck wild out there. No offense, Charlie and Andrew. And the cops show up, they search the house, and they found a grip and part of a pistol. to an old ass gun that did not have a clip, it did not have a hammer, it was literally incapable of firing. The law says that the only way that a felon can be charged with the firearm is if they test it in a forensic setting and the gun actually shoots. That did not meet that standard. He got 27 years for it. For being in a house with a non-functioning pistol that was basically a paperweight, and the gun didn't even work. I saw his paperwork. They admitted that they couldn't fire it, but they said that they didn't know. Maybe he had some bullets. Maybe he had a hammer. Maybe he had a clip. So, ta-da, he got 27 years for that. That dude, I mean, like, I'll be middle-aged before that guy gets out of prison.
Jesus.
He didn't fight it.
I mean, he still had appeals coming up and stuff. The appeals process typically takes years. I didn't even get some of my final appeals paperwork until I went back to prison, which was, I think, 5 years after I filed it. I finally got some of my paperwork back. They're not in any rush. I mean, private prisons make $140 a day per inmate or something like that from the government. So they're not really in any rush to let you out of there. There's no telling what kind of, crooked money is passing between who. I'm not saying that there is, but I would assume that there is. There have been cases where, they found out. I didn't find this out until after the last time I was on the podcast, but I mentioned that, and somebody sent me a case where a guy that owned a private prison went to a judge, paid him, $1 million, and said nobody gets probation. Nobody. Every single guy that comes before you, every single one, send them to prison because they're coming straight to him and he's making money off of them. And I don't know where this $140 a day comes from, because at best they might be giving you like $6 a day worth of like food and toilet paper, and water. I mean, that's the prison privatization for you, But I think that he was innocent as far as the law dictates. Now, don't get me wrong. He was running around doing meth and stuff like that, and selling meth, but he didn't get charged for that.
He was innocent of what
he was accused of. Yeah, he didn't even apparently know that this pistol handle was in there. It was not much more than a handle, and by law, he's not supposed to be in there. I would imagine that it's possible that he'll overturn it, but the courts are very heavily skewed. Again, you almost never win appeals. Almost nobody wins appeals in the feds.
I've never heard of anyone ever winning an appeal.
No, it almost never happens. Like the odds of somebody winning an appeal are just I think it's like a 99% chance that your appeal fails. However, whenever I was in prison the first time, there was a period of what the shit was that called? Where they were letting people out of prison. I can't remember. They're executive clemency, where the president and some of the higher ups of the legal department were letting people out of prison that were doing life sentences that they'd already served over 30 years, had no prison violence on their record, et cetera, et cetera. They met all these standards and they were being released. And I actually got to see a guy who got executive clemency get his letter of clemency. And it was one of the most beautiful moments of my life. The dude just walked into that. They were doing mail call. He missed it. His name was up on the list for the mail, and I was sitting there watching
they
TV.
burned the letter because he missed it.
Wouldn't be surprised knowing them. Yeah. But he walked into the office and got his mail, and he said, "Oh my God, it's the clemency board." I heard him say it. And he opened it up, ripped it open, and it was basically a letter saying, "You've got 2 weeks before you get out of prison." Man, this dude
it's like
fell
the
on the
golden
ground.
ticket from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. I mean, but even significantly better. I mean, this dude was doing like 3 life sentences for selling crack or something like that in the 80s. He'd been locked up since before I was born. And he came out, man, and he opened that letter and he just fell on the ground and had what I can only describe as a combination of a seizure and a panic attack. And then, screaming at the top of his lungs, and everybody started cheering and clapping. And, well, okay, not everybody. Some dudes were fucking salty, which is just sad, in my opinion, that you can't be happy for somebody else, Yeah, straight up jealous, no doubt. And I ended up I knew a guy that knew him, they kept in touch after dude got out. Very, very few people write letters back to prison when they get out, even though they promise they will. But this dude actually sent him some letters of him at a basketball game and stuff like that, living his life. He had grandkids at this point that he'd never really met except for prison visitation. He was taking them to basketball games and stuff like that, man. It was awesome seeing that happen. And to the best of my knowledge, he finished his probation. They did still give him like 3 more years of probation or something like that. Whatever his sentence dictated that his probation was, they were just releasing him from prison. He finished it without a problem. And the last time that I heard, he was working a really good job at, I want to say like some kind of a car place, like, doing oil changes and shit like that or something like that. And he was making good money and taking care of himself,
wrestling.
man. He moved to Turkey and became a professional oil wrestler.
Straight away moved to Turkey.
I can honestly say, though, that throughout my time of incarceration, I met obviously thousands of inmates. I met hundreds of people doing life sentences. I don't know very many people that have done over 30 years that would not, that would fuck up if they were given another chance. That's a long time to think about it, especially for selling drugs. They're doing a life sentence. They've been locked up since 1990 and shit like that. Most of them would not return to a life of crime if they had one more chance. That's not to say they didn't have 7, 8 chances. A lot of those dudes went in and out of prison several times, but they also never did a 30 piece like that.
Mm. That's fucking retarded to still put people in fucking prison for weed.
Yeah, for life, no less. I mean, I knew people are doing life sentences for weed, which is over half of the states now have legal in some form, whether that's recreational or medical. You know, Mississippi's getting medical in fucking August. I can't believe I lived to see that day. When I was 14 and I started smoking weed, I never would have thought I'd see the day that it'd be legal in any way in Mississippi. It's the South, you know.
It does not make sense to me at all. Like legalizing it without, like, you know, letting the people who are currently in jail out for those crimes.
Yeah, see, that's a really big problem to them, is that if they made it retroactive, like basically that had never been illegal, they'd have to let all these people out, you know, and they obviously don't want to.
Plus, if they did that, I'm sure they'd have to admit some kind of guilt for imprisoning them in the first place, and they'd probably have to pay like reparations or something to those people they incarcerated for it.
I feel like they should, but if they made a stipulation like, we'll let you out of prison, but we ain't paying you shit, it'd be all good. It's like when the West Memphis 3 signed their Alfred plea, you know, they were like, you can't sue us. Even though we lied about you and set you up and did all this shit and brought in false witnesses and straight up lied, you can't sue us and we'll let you out. They were like, okay.
Middle ground. You let me out, you don't pay me, but you give me back all of the fucking weed that you confiscated when you arrested me.
You guys have to procure 73 pounds of marijuana right now. and we'll call it a deal. And they're like, all right, stay your ass in prison then. Fuck that. We're not giving you back your weed. All right, never mind. Let me out. Okay. I was bluffing.
Okay. You guys want to wrap?
Yeah. Not before mentioning that the Stadia that we've all shit on so many times has finally become the platform we've always wanted. It now has a search bar.
What?
So. Ooh.
Oh my God.
What are you able to search for? Isn't there like 3 games on there?
Any Assassin's Creed you could ever imagine, Jackson.
You can pretty much fit the entire catalog on the first page, but you can now search, which is incredible. So
I do have one last thing before we go, though. All right.
Oh, what is happening?
One last little quick thing real quick. You know, we were talking about how I did all that time in prison and stuff like that. And, you know, it was really hard for me to adjust to getting out and, you know, being so behind the times and stuff like that. But there was a video that helped me a lot whenever I got out to understand the modern era. So if you guys don't mind, if you could bear with me for about 1 minute, I have just a little part of something I wanted to show you guys, all right? Because this video helped me a lot in adjusting. So I really wanted to thank Andrew and Charlie for that, all right? And I'm sure I'll fuck it up now because I did it by ear, but let's see here.
Oh my.
Wow.
I told you. Hello, hi, I'm a 2019 guy. I don't need drugs to get high. I've got Soylent and wine. I respect girls by getting friend zoned and denied. I think about them and cry. I am totally fine. Testosterone's low, feelings high. That's how you know I'm truly 2019 guy.
This is what I'm fucking talking about.
That was great.
Yeah. I did it by ear.
Nice. That's very impressive.
It really is
My
impressive.
dick's not big. My girlfriend fucked my friend. You say I'm down on my luck. I say it's a win-win. Cause I'm a cuck. And I hope he fucks her good. In a way I wish I could. I'm about to fuck up. I just want to
That right there is the great equalizer when it gets to that point.
It's like I was in a stadium of thousands of screaming fans. It was amazing.
I had the guitar riff part down, but the trying to say it with the I just want to watch part was definitely fucking me up.
Oh, it's not easy. It's one of the hardest songs ever composed. In fact,
I could tell by the way you guys were moving your fingers in the video.
I'll let
Whenever
you in
Andrew
on
was
a
playing that
secret,
sax
Josh.
solo.
We had to fake it for the video for a reason. We could never perform that song live. It's impossiable. It's too difficult.
Wait, you guys were faking it in the video?
Well, unless I learned to play the
don't
katana,
call
yeah.
what about that part where Charlie was doing the finger tap solo that was obviously mixed out because I couldn't hear it? What do you mean, man? But
Charlie,
I figured
bet you
I'd
never
run
thought
through
that,
that by ear a few days ago.
Your song would be
knew I was gonna mess
popular
it up.
in the prison convict YouTuber community.
Man, maybe I need to play that to help them catch up, because like I said, it was a big thing for me. I was like, okay, this is how we act in 2019. I know now.
Yeah.
I got to get offended online,
Sums it all up.
Low testosterone.
Make
But I
them play
appreciate you guys letting me be
Cuckold
here
Simulator.
again, man. For real, I always enjoy coming on and shooting the shit with you dudes. And I'm sure the sound quality coming through Discord was probably horrible and that was terrible to listen to. But hopefully it sounds a little bit better in the Audacity recording. We can only hope.
It sounded great.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. My
Thank
guitar
you-
was a little
thank
out
you
of
for
tune,
that.
and of course I didn't realize it until I turned the amp up, and I'm like, oh, good. Great, that's going to be aggravating.
Thanks for the strong ending to this episode. That was lovely.
I was planning it for like a week now, and that's whenever I realized I was like, all right, I'm gonna learn 2019 guy, and that shit was in drop D flat tuning, and I had to mess my guitar all up to get it there, but I figured it out for the most part.
It sounded right on the money, really.
Yeah, it was great.
It was in the right tuning. It's in drop D flat, so it's like E flat and then drop down a whole step on a low string. So I managed to figure it out. Did not think about trying to play it and sing it together as much as I should have, obviously. I found out there at the end. But I just wanted to thank you guys for that video, man. It's a great song and a great video. And I really liked Obsession, too. That shit was dope.
Thank you, man.
I can't ever talk about it on Twitch because of the nature of it, but I did It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp by Juicy J, but I did It's Hard Out Here for a Simp. So to everybody watching, go check out my It's Hard Out Here for a Simp. I called it Twitch Anthem. It's Hard Out Here for a Simp, and it's terms of service, so I've never actually been able to play it on Twitch, but it's come sweat and tears when it comes down to the chat.
Okay, hang on, Josh. Where can they? What's your channel? Shut your stuff
My
out.
channel is Josh Pillault, and that's a doozy to spell, but I'm sure it's somewhere in the title of this video, I would assume. I would hope, anyways. The Twitch is J Pillault. Just take out the Osh part, and you'll be there. I also have a Discord server you guys can find. If you go to my YouTube channel, all the links are in the description of every video. I just spent 4 hours yesterday updating them because I realized most of my links were broken, and it took a really long time to fix. But also, if you guys play RuneScape, old school RuneScape, or RuneScape 3, we hang out in the Tan clan chat, Tan. Shout out to my mods, Aaron, Dylan, Indica, Kevin, Dave the Wolfman, and all the boys.
I might take you up on that. I am a young girl looking for a boyfriend.
Oh no, here we go. It's starting. Well, I may or may not have a gold necklace for you, as long as you keep that helmet on so I can't see the beard.
Give me the pearl necklace. All right, let's wrap it, Jackson. Go.
You ruined it for me. All right, thank you everyone for listening. Josh's channel link will be in the description below if you want to go find it and
thank you, man.
watch his stuff. It's going to be down there. For us, it's patreon.com/theofficialpodcast if you want to hear bonus episodes, bonus content over there for your ears to listen to. Thank you for watching this week's episode, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, everyone.
Love you guys, man. Thanks, everybody. See you later.
Bye.